I decided to go through the videos on Ren's main channel, and I was pleasantly surprised to find out that there are some videos that I haven't done reactions for yet. So one of them was Dear God. I thought we would dive into this today. I don't know when this will drop, but let me know if you guys have been having fun with his money game riddles and everything like that. I've missed the first couple of days, but I'm going to try to dive into the one today, which is I think today's Monday. Today's Monday the 2nd of October. So I'm gonna probably check it out today. I know that his video drops, I believe, later this week for Money Game Part 3. I'm excited for that. That will obviously drop the same day. This video might be out before then. If not, it'll be after, and we'll probably have already talked about some of this stuff, but in the moment, I just, that's what's going on in my mind right now. And I wanted to dive into this and see, and there is one other video from his as well that I haven't checked out. I don't remember what it's called right now, but it will be up on the channel. So I appreciate you guys. Let's just jump in. Let's see what that man Ren was cooking with.
Hello. It's Ren. I don't really know how to start this letter. Oh, fuck it. Is this life really what it seems? Cause lately I've been in this place between awake and dreams. I know I only reach out to you when I'm feeling blue. I promise I'm not using you, I'm just confused. I've got some questions I would like some answers to.
That's some real shit. I find that I only reach out to you when I'm feeling blue. And I've said this before in a different reaction. I don't think it was a Ren reaction, but just take, for example, when someone's really hungover. I feel like it's one of the best examples. When you're really hungover that day after drinking and you feel like you're dying, like it's the worst feeling ever. It will literally turn people that say that they don't believe into God into people that will lay there and be like, God, please just let me get through this. I will never drink again. Just let me stop feeling like shit. That I've heard that from people that will openly say to you that they don't believe in God. But yet some reason, as soon as you're in that position, it all changes. Or if you were really, really sick and concerned and worried that something bad might happen to you, suddenly you take that leap of faith and you're like, you know what? Well, just in case, let me have this conversation. And I find that really interesting. I find that really, really interesting. And I think at the end of the day, what that tells you is that we all want to believe that there is some kind of overseeing power, some kind of, whether it's God, whether it's an energy, whatever it is that you feel like you can maybe make a connection with and talk to in your time of need, and it might just be able to help you out. It's an odd thing. It's something that it may have already been studied. I don't know, but if not, then it should be studied, because I think that that's a really interesting concept. And I was that person when I was younger who's like, I don't believe, and but if I was sick, it's like, oh my, I'm sorry. I'm so like, please just let me feel better. And, now that I'm older, I find that I have some faith and stuff like that, but it's still one of those things where, you might be going well in life and you don't really consider having that conversation, updating God, being grateful and saying these things to him and or her, or, or any of this kind of stuff. And then as soon as something bad happens, or you feel like you need that help, you are willing to turn that direction. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an interesting thing.
I don't know how to start this letter. Oh, fuck it. Is this life really what it seems? Cause lately I've been in this place between awake and dreams. I know I only reach out to you when I'm feeling blue. I promise I'm not using you, I'm just confused. I've got some questions I would like some answers to. Like, is there meaning to this state of short existence? My existential thoughts, you'll hope there are, cause I'm resistant to thinking that there won't be something better in the distance. And God, is there an afterlife where pain is non-existent? If you're up there, God, do you sit upon a throne? Or are you a humble soul wearing sandals and tattered clothes? Do you mingle with the people like an equal? Then on Sundays just kick back and chill and put your feet up. Did I really choose this life that I'm living now? Will my sins be forgiven if I speak them out? I won't lie to you, God, if there is a heaven, I really hope I get there, cause for real it sounds like heaven.
Facts. You know what gets me? And I could be wrong because none of us know, right? None of us know. So it's all just speculation and just thoughts. But we always put like a human figure to God. We always say we were created in his likeness is one of the things that people believe. And, and in my mind, I'm like, is that really true? Because if there is a God, which, however you want to look at what that means to you, that means that he created the entire universe. It's not just like planet Earth. We're not the only thing here. There is an entire universe out there. And if he created this entire universe and it's been here for billions of years, and then he created us, and we only live for this finite amount of time, which is such a small dot of time on the timeline of everything that he's created. It's like, are we really that important, first of all, which is almost a sad thing to talk about, but why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why make us in his likeness, but we only live here for like that? in the grand scale of time and things like that. So then it makes you wonder, would God really be more so an energy, like, you know, a consciousness, you know, something that we just can't really grasp. And for us, it's easier to kind of put the whole thought of we're in his likeness and he's built like us. He's a human, but he oversees. And you know what I'm saying? It's almost like maybe that's just easier for us to digest, and what he is or what he would be. And I keep saying he, but then again, it probably wouldn't have sex. It wouldn't be a he or she. It's probably something outside of the realm of our ability to really comprehend. And so it's easier for it to just be given this more simplified form, if that makes sense, right? I don't know. I just think about stuff like this every once in a while. This song is gonna bring out a lot of conversation potentially.
Reading past the lines, I just let go. Searching for profits, my faith it is paper thin. So many questions in my mind, they replay like an echo. They never stop, my Messiah is porcelain. Dear God, why do people kill each other in your name? Is it really what you want, or have we lost our way? Cause it seems like religion can cause division, or people living in prisons of moral values they're given. What is right and what is wrong? Am I a sinner if I don't comply with everything that Moses said, or is that dumb? And why do people disguise hatred in your name? Homophobia, a history of violent wars and causing pain. High priests in the tower stacking riches, women burnt at the stakes called witches. In the name of God, Allah, Zeus, Jesus, people claiming lives justified by your allegiance. I think it's more complex than good versus evil. I think that there's both darkness and light inside people. Through different eyes, a man called a terrorist could be a freedom fighter if he's fighting for the side you're with.
Woo! See, this is the kind of stuff that I like. Ren is a thinker. He's somebody that doesn't just buy into whatever it is that you're selling him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to think outside of the box and really try to look at it from different angles. And that's one of the realest things ever. Someone who's considered a terrorist to some people could be a freedom fighter for other people. It depends on which side that you're on. Like, all these things that he said, like, you know, I would 100% agree that it's more complex than good versus evil. There's no person in life that is 100% good, and I don't believe there's any person in life that's 100% evil. Although, when you see people like serial killers and stuff, it's like that might be this might be the closest you could get to 100% evil, because I don't know where the good is. I couldn't even think of, you know, like maybe there's a person or two in their life that they'll be good with. I don't really know. So that's where it gets a little tricky, but there's definitely nobody that's 100% good. There's no person that walks through life squeaky clean and never has a bad thought or never does anything that's in the best interest of themselves that may not be for other people, that hasn't lied at least a little bit. Like, it's just not a possibility. I don't think that it's possible for us to be that way. I think we like to believe in that, but I just don't think that that's the way that it is, because there's good people around you all the time, right? And you're like, oh, I saw them do this or do that, and they help this person and that person, but that same person will also turn their back on some people because it's just not in their best interest. Because at the end of the day, like, you can't worry about everybody else all the time and never about yourself, right? And to be that way is you have to have some selfishness to some extent to be able to get through your life and enjoy it. I just don't believe that there's anybody that's 100% good. I'm sure people have some arguments of, well, what about this person or that person? But unless you were with them every day of their life and in their head and understood their thoughts, I don't know that you can really argue that.
Complex and good versus evil. I think that there's both darkness and light inside people. Through different eyes, a man called a terrorist could be a freedom fighter if he's fighting for the side you're with. Reading past the line.
I like the way that he uses his voice on this hook as well. This is very different from other songs that I've heard from him.
I just let go. Searching for profits, my faith it is paper thin. So many questions in my mind, they replay like an echo. They never stop, my Messiah is porcelain. So is it ignorant to claim that we know what you want? And if I fast for the Sabbath, is that what you want? Or is tradition just superstition, religion, the human vision just crafted out of people's ambition?
See, after he said that, he's like, listen, because, you know, some people are going to take that the wrong way. And that's the issue that I have with following like a book. Because at some point, a human wrote that book. It didn't just fall from the sky. And then we're like, oh shit, this is it. Like, a person wrote it. And I get that we're like, well, that person was spoken to by God, but who knows that? And I like to always use the example of, like, would you trust the person randomly down your street that you've never met in some random house to come over and take care of your stuff? You might think, well, I don't really know them. I don't trust them. Especially if, like, say I have a kid here. Would you just trust them around your kid? No, you wouldn't. Would you trust them around your stuff? Probably not. But you're going to trust that some person thousands of years ago or however long ago wrote a book and he was spoken to by God, and you've never met this person, you know nothing about him. And this was a time when you didn't have all the same things we have now, like cameras and phones and stuff like that. So the amount of shit that people got away with and the amount of dark and dirty shit that probably happened back then was magnified compared to what you see now. We see it because we have so many ways of catching it. But back then when you didn't, the amount of shit people probably did that were messed up is ridiculous. Like, I was just having this conversation the other day with someone. I'm like, living hundreds of years ago as a woman had to be one of the worst things ever. Like, you know how many people probably got away with just mistreating women and just doing what you wanted and just, all right, well, off to the next town. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like there's really a way of anybody being held accountable. I mean, sometimes people would become bounties, but it's just, it's not the same as it is now. So to think that some guy all that time ago wrote this book and we're just supposed to believe it. But not only that, let's just say that was true. That same book gets passed through time where you have kings and people that we know are not always the greatest people, and they're in charge, and they can just easily say, well, we're going to change this in the book because it doesn't fit my narrative and what I want to happen. So we're going to alter this and change that. And that's why you have all these different versions. And then you still don't know if the original version is really the original. Was that something that was, you know what I'm saying, like changed by somebody along the way? So that's even if we're saying that it was legit. And, you know, so that's where it gets a little bit odd to me. It doesn't mean that I don't believe. Like I said, I still have faith. I just don't have faith that humans are honest enough to really be trusted that this is what it is. And this is the thing that we should be following. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, there are some good things in there, like treat people how you like to be treated. Like, I will happily take certain statements like that and do that. But otherwise, it just gets a little bit tricky for me. And then when you watch videos that explain all the stuff that was removed from the Bible, and the Bible, it really is, if I'm not mistaken, is like a collection of different things that have happened. It's almost like a historical, like, I was gonna say monologue. It's not a monologue, but you know what I'm saying? Like a historical record book in a sense, with some stories and things like that. And then there's a lot that were removed because they didn't fit the narrative of the other ones. And it didn't make all sense together. So some were removed, some were. So I just feel like you can't really explain all of that. It's just, there's just some odd stuff that is hard to really, it's just hard to really grasp.
They never stop, my Messiah is porcelain. So is it ignorant to claim that we know what you want? And if I fast for the Sabbath, is that what you want? Or is tradition just superstition, religion, the human vision just crafted out of people's ambition? Listen, I knew a girl that lost a baby before it was born. What's the purpose of that, God? What is it for? Why did my best friends die before I hit 25? Is it because there's something better in the afterlife? God, I've been feeling suicidal lately. Mental health is worsening. It feels like it might break me. If you're watching, you know that I've been strong. But God, how much longer do I have to hold on? Please just give me some solace, so that I know you've got my back. Please just give me some relief. God, is that too much to ask?
This was an amazing track. This was an amazing track. And this was 3 years ago. I would like to see him continue on with this song and do like a part 2. Because, I mean, not that his life is suddenly the most amazing life ever, but a lot has changed for him. And things are going really, really well as far as his career goes. And I know that he has been in Canada and been getting some treatment. And I don't know, you know, if it's like, you can't fix what he has, the Lyme disease and stuff like that. Unfortunately, if it's not caught very early on, you can't necessarily fix it. But he's going through every step that he possibly can to limit it and maybe correct some of the things that it might have done to him and try to get his body and his mind and everything back on track. And hopefully that's going well, because I feel like he's a treasure to the world, to be honest with you. This man's music is clearly touching a lot of different people. And I think that that's just one of the most amazing things that you can have happen for you and for the people that get to receive your music and get that, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants to find something that they can relate with, that they can, you know, so it's really, really dope that he's been able to grow and be able to touch a lot of different people in that way. But I'd be curious to hear his take on it now. I mean, obviously some of this stays the same as far as his questions about the baby that had passed away, rest in peace, his friends, you know, my condolences to that, because that's a very unfortunate thing. And I can relate in some ways. Like, I had a friend that passed away that grew up literally right next to me my whole entire life. We hadn't been talking for quite a while, not because of any bad reasons. We just kind of went our separate ways with friends as we got into high school. But he had passed away, you know, family members, different things like that. So I can understand that side of it as well. But then when your life starts to go well, especially at the end, he said, how long do I have to hold on? Because I've been, you know, struggling with a lot of this shit, and things start to improve. Like, I'm just curious where his mindset is now. Does he believe that there's anything to do with faith in there that has to do with God, anything like, or is this just, you know, it just happens to be? I mean, hard work is what he did, but is there, that's where it's like, is there another thing out there, another, like I said again, a God, an energy, or something like that, where when you really work hard and you're trying to manifest something, that it starts to push it in your direction? There's just so much to speak on. So it'd be really, really cool to see, you know, if he ever did a part 2. I don't know if he ever plans on it, but I think that'd be kind of dope. So comment below, let me know what you guys think about this. There's a lot to talk about, and we'll connect on the next song. I'll see you guys on Money Game Part 3, which, like I said again, may drop before this drops. If it does, we'll discuss more stuff on that, but I will catch you in the next video, homies.